Welcome to the Forefront Radio. Welcome to the Forefront Radio. We're having another exciting discussion on the Forefront Radio. Feel free to hit the guest icon. Actually, you know what? No, let's get right into it, y'all. Let's get right into our discussion. I'll be with you in just a moment. All right, check. Can y'all hear me? Put a 1 in the chat if the audio is clear. Put a 1 in the chat if the audio is clear. All right, on this episode of You Reap What You Sow, we're going to talk about Islam. We're going to talk about how Islam impacted the melanated communities, all throughout Africa and all throughout the Americas. So now you got a group of people that are melanated that are part of Nation of Islam. You have a group of people also that are part of various communities in the Islamic community. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to go into the Bible and we're going to show you that the Arabians had a part in the enslavement of the sons and daughters of the children of Israel. A lot of times we talk about European captivity, but rarely do we talk about the Arabian captivity. We're going to start off with Jeremiah chapter 2. Jeremiah chapter 2. Let's start at verse 14. It says, "Is Israel a servant? Is he a homeborn slave? Why is he spoiled?" So now, why is the Bible comparing the children of Israel to slaves? Let's find out. Let's go to the book of First Maccabees chapter 3. First Maccabees chapter 3. First Maccabees chapter 3, verse 41. First Maccabees chapter 3, verse 41. It says, "And the merchants of the country, hearing the fame of them, took silver and gold very much with servants, and came into the camp to buy the children of Israel for slaves." For slaves, meaning what? The Arabs, when they came into power, they were working with the Greeks to put black people into slavery. So the two major nation states are the Edomites, who are the Grecians and Romans today, and the Arabs, who placed black folks into slavery. It says, First Maccabees chapter 3, verse 41, "And the merchants of the country, hearing the fame of them, took silver and gold very much with servants, and came into the camp to buy the children of Israel for slaves. A power also of Syria," Syria is an Arabic country, "and of the land of the Philistines joined themselves unto them." So the Canaanites, the Philistines, the Arabs, and the Greeks all had their part in putting the children of Israel in slavery. Watch this. Jeremiah chapter 2, verse 14. "Is Israel a servant? Is he a homeborn slave? Why is he spoiled?" So now the God of the Bible speaks against the false gods that are out here in the world. Let's go to the book of Leviticus chapter 26. Let's go to the book of Leviticus chapter 26, verse 1. Leviticus chapter 26, verse 1. It says, "You shall make no idols nor graven images, neither rear up any standing image, neither shall you set up an image of stone in your land, to bow down unto it, for I am the Lord your God." This image that you see on the screen, ladies and gentlemen, is the image of Baalah, the image of Islam. This image is an image of stone. When they go to Mecca, they bow down to the Kaaba stone. Now, God told the children of Israel not to be involved with this idolatry, but did we listen? No. Watch this. Jeremiah chapter 2, verse 27. Jeremiah chapter 2, verse 20, saying to a stock, that's a piece of wood, "Thou art my father." So when people are in modern religions of Christianity, they bow down to a wooden cross and they start praying to the Creator as if the Creator initiated the Roman Catholic Church and the wooden cross religion. No. It says, saying to a stock like wood stock, "Thou art my father." and to a stone, and to a stone, and to a stone, thou hast brought me forth. This is what people say in modern religion. One of the two major religions that place our people in captivity is Roman Christianity and Arabic Islam. When you say that you want to be Christian, you're saying you want to be European. That's what black folks fail to realize. That's what Hispanic folks fail to realize. That's what African folks fail to realize. When you say you want to be a part of the religion of your colonizer, you're literally saying, I want to be like a European. The wood religion. Watch this. It says, thou hast said to a stone, thou hast brought me forth. The Kaaba stone is the stone that people worship in Islam. In Islam. Somebody said, where is the stick? The wooden cross. The two major religions that enslaved God's chosen people, one is represented by wood and the other is represented by stone. The wooden cross and the Kaaba stone. Now this idol is this picture that you see is a Pakistani imam showing you the image of Allah. Do you notice the crescent moon on the top of the head showing as the horns? When you look up any Islamic flag, all the Islamic flags have what? Crescent moons on top of it. Now this is the image of Ba'Allah. This is the same deity that they worship, because they'll tell you that Allah has two right arms. The God of the Bible says you worship a stone. Jeremiah chapter 2 verse 27, saying to a stock, thou art my father, and to a stone thou hast brought me forth, for they have turned their back unto me and not their face. But in the time of their trouble they shall say, arise and save us. But where are thy gods that thou hast made thee? Let them arise if they can save thee in the time of trouble. For according to the number of thy cities are thy gods, O Judah, O Judah. So the real Hebrews of the Bible, when they went into captivity, they started to follow the ways of Ba'Allah. Ba'Allah is Baal, which is Allah, which is the Baal Zebub of what? Islam. Watch this. Let's go to Jeremiah chapter 3, verse 1. It says, they say, if a man put away his wife, and she go from him, and become another man's, shall he return unto her again? Shall not the land be greatly polluted? But thou hast played the harlot with many lovers, yet return again to me, saith the Lord. Watch this. Lift up thine eyes unto the high places, and see where thou hast not been lying with. In the ways have thou sat for them as the Arabian in the wilderness, as the Arabs in the desert. Black and brown people, during the Red Sea slave trade, your ancestors were taken from the Holy Land and enslaved by the Arabs. During the Middle East slave trade, your ancestors were taken out of Egypt, taken out of the land of Judea, and placed into captivity by the Arabs. The Arabs in the desert scattered you all across North Africa. Look up online slavery in Morocco. They're enslaving black people that are called Haratin. These are the 12 tribes of Israel. Look at slavery in Morocco, slavery in Mauritania, slavery in Libya, slavery in all of these Arabic-speaking nations. You understand? Watch this. Jeremiah chapter 2, verse 14. Is Israel a servant? Is he a homeborn slave? Why is he spoiled? Why did the Arab slave trade travel all the way south into Sub-Saharan Africa? Correct. In places like Zanzibar, that's a slave port. In places like Tanzania, Malawi, Mozambique, Zambia. Far in Southeast Africa, we find traces of the Arab slave trade. The proof of that is that there's Islamic mosque all throughout Africa, from West Africa all the way down to Southeast Africa. Places like Mauritius, places like Madagascar, shalom to you, places like Tanzania, places like Kenya. They were taking our ancestors and scattering them amongst the Arab slave trade. What are we reading? The Bible. The Bible. Why is it that we're never taught this in modern religion? That the two major religions that had our people in captivity was both Ba'allah in Islam and Caesar Borgia in Christianity. You see, Muhammad and his cohorts were slave traders. Yes, that's right, folks. Muhammad and his people, when they decided to fight against the sons and daughters of God, what did they do? They placed them in captivity. They placed them in captivity. None of these Gentile nations have our best interests at heart. Let's be honest. Let's go to Nehemiah chapter 7. No, let's go to Nehemiah chapter 5 verse 9. Nehemiah chapter 5 verse 9. It says, "Also I said, it is not good that you do. Ought ye not to walk in the fear of our God because of the reproach of the heathen, our enemies?" Our what? Our enemies. So wait a minute. God says in the Bible, before you even get to the New Testament, that the heathen, aka the Gentiles, was our enemies. So now, who are the literal Gentiles that God is saying are the enemies of the sons and daughters of Jacob? Let's go to 1 Ezra chapter 8, verse 69. And it reads, "The nation of Israel, the princes, the priests, excuse me. The nation of Israel, the princes, the priests, and Levites have not put away from them the strange people of the land, nor the pollutions of the Gentiles, to wit." Now he's going to tell you who those Gentiles are. The Canaanites, those are the Gentiles. The Hittites, those are the Gentiles. The Perizzites, the Jebusites, the Moabites, the Egyptians, and Edomites, Wait a minute. God says these other nations are the Gentiles, Now also, when you go to Genesis chapter 10, you find out that the sons of Japhet are also called what? The Isles of the Gentiles. But wait a minute, Esau was Jacob's brother. Why is the Edomites listed as the Gentiles? Esau was Jacob's brother. The Egyptians, because you have jokers that will tell you, "Thou shalt not abhor an Edomite," Deuteronomy 23 verse 7, brother. But they never read along on the other texts of scriptures to understand that that law is no longer applicable. Why? Let's find out. Let's go to Amos chapter 1. Let's start at verse 11. It says, "Thus saith the Lord, for 3 transgressions of Edom, and for 4 I will not turn away the punishment thereof, because he did pursue his brother with the sword, and did cast off all pity, and his anger did tear perpetually, and he kept his wrath forever." Let's jump up to verse 9. Amos chapter 1 verse 9, it says, "Thus saith the Lord, for 3 transgressions of Tyrus, and for 4 I will not turn away the punishment thereof." Now Tyre, those are the land of Lebanon today. Tyre, Zidon, those were originally the inhabitants of Canaanite tribes, Zidonian tribes, Tyrians, but now it's being taken over by the Arabs. The Arabs now live in Lebanon. Watch this. "Thus saith the Lord, for 3 transgressions of Tyrus, and for 4 I will not turn away the punishment thereof, because They delivered up the whole captivity to Edom and remembered not the brotherly covenant. So the scriptures of Deuteronomy 23 verse 7 that says, thou shalt not abhor an Edomite or an Egyptian. Does that apply today? No. Why? Because the nation of Edom worked together with the Lebanese, worked together with the Arabs, worked together with the indigenous Canaanite tribes to place the children of Israel into captivity. Meaning what? Black people were sold into slavery by the same people that worship Allah. The same people that worship the Roman Catholic faith, the same people that worship false idols, false idols. What does the God of the Bible say about idols? Let's find out. Let's go to Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 14. Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 14, and let's read verse 27. It says, for the worshiping of idols, like Allah, for example, not to be named, is the beginning, the cause, and the end of all evil. All evil. Meaning what? When Islam came on the scene, Islam placed millions of black people throughout Africa in slavery. That's evil. When Islam came on the scene, millions of black and brown people were taken on slave ships across the Indian Ocean and the Pacific Ocean slave trade and across the Atlantic Ocean and given to the descendants of the Greeks and Romans. That's evil. Watch this. Let's go to Deuteronomy chapter 4. Let's go to Deuteronomy chapter 4, verse 19. It says, let's start at verse 16. Lest you corrupt yourselves and make yourselves a graven image, an image like this image of Allah right here that is being held by a Pakistani imam. It says, lest you corrupt yourselves and make you a graven image, the similitude of any figure, the likeness of male or female. Now watch this, verse 19. Unless thou lift up thine eyes unto heaven, and when thou seest the sun, that's Catholicism, and the moon, what's the symbol of Islam? The crescent moon. And the stars, what's the symbol of the star? The star of Remphan in Judaism. Even all the host of heaven should be driven to worship them. Worship them. Where do people go to worship? In a mosque. Where do people go to worship? In a synagogue. Where do people go to worship? In a church. So the three Abrahamic religions had a part in the slave trade and the destruction of the sons and daughters of Jacob. God says, don't follow the sun. What do they do in Sunday school? They worship the sun. They call it Sunday church. God says, don't worship the moon. What do they do in Islam? They have the crescent moon plastered throughout all their flags and emblems. God says, do not worship the stars. They have the star, the alleged Star of David, alleged, which is really the Star of Remphan, the Star of Molech, of the synagogue of Shaitan, plastered throughout all their synagogues. What are we reading? The Bible. The Bible. The Bible. Even all the host of heaven should be driven to worship them and serve them, which the Lord your God has divided unto all the nations under the whole heaven. Let's go back. How does God feel about these idols like Allah? How does Yah, the God of this Bible, feel about Ba'Allah, aka Beelzebub, Baalzebub, Bel and Baal and the dragon? Y'all don't understand how deceived y'all are. When you say you want worship a baller, you got basketball, football, soccer ball. You worshiping the ball. And guess what? Guess what's on this statue? Look at the middle of the statue. Do you see a male rod in the middle of the statue? That's Allah. You worship Ba'Allah, not realizing that this is the idols that the God of this Bible says not to follow. Let's go back. Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 14, verse 27. For the worshiping of idols, not to be named, is the beginning, the cause, and the end of all evil. For either they are mad, when they be merry, aka Merry Christmas, or prophesy lies, for example, one of the lies that they propagate is that Muhammad is a prophet. One of the lies, how do you copy and paste the Bible, call it a Quran, and then turn around and say, this man is a prophet? The Bible tells you who the prophets are. Let's go to Amos. Let's go to Amos chapter 2, verse 11. It says, "And I raised up for your sons prophets, and of your young men for Nazarites. Is it not even thus, O ye children of Israel, O you children of Israel, O you children of Israel, saith the Lord?" Who said it? God said it. Meaning what? There ain't no Islamic prophet. There ain't no Arabian prophet. The sons of the prophets were Nazarites and the children of Jacob. There ain't no Catholic prophet, no Baptist prophet. So all of these leaders that's throughout the world that you see on TikTok, that you see on social media professing themselves to be a prophet, the Bible says, no, only the sons of the prophets are the Nazarites and the Israelites, the children of Israel that set up a Nazarite vow to separate themselves to the Lord. What are we reading? The Bible. The Bible.